Hi, good morning. It's about time I got some crochet done. I know it's been sort of quite a while since I've done anything. I had a few things in life, like life gets in the way at times, that have distracted me, but I think I'm on top of things again now. So, gift time, crochet gifts. Ta-da! Crochet mushroom, toadstool, whatever you want to call it. And of course, yes, chocolate orange, or as we've discussed before, it could be a bath bomb, it could be a pair of socks, it could be one of those Zuru balls, gift balls. There's all sorts of things that you can actually pop in these. So that's up to you depending on the person you're gifting it to, of course. It's quite a simple pattern. Even down to the fact, I mean, these little flowers are little stuck on flowers, little sewn on details, but it is really simple to do. UK terms though, don't forget, so you do need to make sure you've got a conversion chart if you're not sure. You can usually get one online. Google has loads. My glasses are sliding down my face. It is so warm today. This is going to be fun to do. It's gorgeous. It's lovely and sunny out there, but it's a little bit too warm in my room, but I can't put the fan on. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear me. So that is why I've had to do that. So let me show you the top. And so you've got that. So there's a little bit of shaping. Nothing difficult. You need a little bit of stuffing as well for this top part, but otherwise it's a very simple design, and I hope you're going to join me with it top down, and we'll get on with our little mushroom stroke toadstool in a moment. Here we are then with the little mushroom. I thought it was really cute. I don't know whether to call it a mushroom or a toadstool. I think it's a toadstool, isn't it, really? I think we should need to call it a toadstool. So obviously when I do the description for YouTube, it's like, oh, what do I call it? I think we're going to call it a toadstool. There's my orange in there. Now, it's basically three parts. This part, and the main body. Now, there is a little bit of stuffing in here. Now, at the moment, I have only stuck these on. I have done that just for speed for the video. If I was making this for a gift, I do like to stitch on completely rather than just glue, because glue things can come off. And again, these I have just glued on for the moment. I mean, the glue I've used is this one. It's a fabric glue, which is really good. And if I'm gluing something on before I'm stitching it, I only glue the center bit, because to get a needle, you can see how that lifts at the edge, because that's where I want to stitch it. To get a needle through a piece of glue is an absolute nightmare. So if you're sticking something on, it's great to place things so you know where they're going, and sort of before you actually start stitching. Sometimes if you don't do it that way around, you'll end up doing them in the wrong place. But I do leave that edge, as you can see, so as I can actually get my needle through and get all those stitched on, which they are going to be. And these I'm going to be taking sort of stitch in certain points. I don't think it matters if these bits lift, but I do think it matters in case they come off. So you can see we've got three colours. I've gone for the traditional toadstool colour. So we've got the red, we've got green, because I wanted to do a little bit of grass around the bottom, and I've just gone for what you would call a mushroomy sort of beige colour, which is ideal for that. I'm just looking where I put my pieces of felt. There they are. Now, I'm very lucky to have a die cutter, so I can cut my felt to exact sizes. If you can get one, even if you're not thinking, oh, I don't paper craft, I don't this, that, and the other, these things are amazing, well worth the money. I've had mine, what, coming up 6-7 years now. In fact, it might even be older than that. I can't remember which birthday I got it for. I'm going to say my 50th, but I've got a feeling it could have been a lot before that. And it has cut felt, it's cut the papers, it has cut leather, leatherette, it has cut so many different EVA foam. It's really took some sort of effort, mine. So they were well worth it. It's not a big expensive one, so I won't go for an expensive one, but if you're just cutting bits and bobs out, doesn't it give it a much nicer effect if you can get a nice shape? So they're just little bits of white felt for the top of our toadstool. I've got to start calling it a toadstool so I get it in the right frame of mind there. So these are double knit yarns. This we have is a 3.5mm hook. Again, remember, even the hook size UK term, so you may need a conversion for that. I've got my needles, a little bit of felt there. My needles, as always, I have my pattern, my pen, and my scissors. In fact, I'll bring my scissors to that side, ready to mark off what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the body, because I think that is the easiest part. This isn't hard, but I think this is the easiest bit. So we're going to pop our orange out, because we do need to keep checking our sizes, because everybody's tension's different. The beauty of these is they're quite solid, so they will just stand afterwards as well. So even when the person's eaten their orange, they can still have that sat on the side looking very cute. So, or again, it can cover over something or can be reused as a gift, whatever you're wanting to do with it from there. So as I said, we're going to start with the body onto the orange, so we can move the red and we'll move the green a little bit, and we'll start with this. Oh, I called it a mushroomy colour, didn't I? I'm just seeing what's affecting my colours here, because I've been doing another video, so my desk is covered, but I don't think it's just the green that was doing it. We'll move the green over there. We want as much light as we can get, don't we? So we're going to get going. As I say, amigurumi style, but we are going to be using half trebles as the sort of part of the main body. So we need a slip knot first. There we go. Onto our hook. And like with all my amigurumi, I start with 2 chain. I don't work with a magic ring. So 2 chain, 1 and 2. And into the very first chain, I'm going to do 6 double crochets. Again, UK terms. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'm just going to say this before I get started. Excuse the state of my hands. Can you see how they're all peeling? I've actually got hand cream on at the moment. That's the only thing. It's a bit difficult. I don't know about you, but I don't like to have hand cream on when I'm crocheting because I feel it just feels a bit weird. I like my hands to be sort of not so smooth, but unfortunately, because my hands are like this at the moment, I know I said in my last video I think I must be a snake, because this happens every now and again, and this layer of skin just peels off, particularly when it's warm, and it's very warm here at the moment, so I think that's what's causing it. Right, so we have 6 double crochets in that first chain. We're now going to have 2 double crochets in each of those 6, so we will have our 12 stitches. Off we go. So that is 1. That's our first one with 2, our second one with 2, number 3 with 2, number 4, number 5, and our last one for 2 in each at the moment, and number 6. So now we have 12 stitches. I'm just tightening up that center point because we don't need a hole there, we need it nice and tight. And now we're going to do the same again. We're going to have 2 double crochets into each of those, so we're going to end up with 24 stitches. So we're still on double crochets at the moment, so into each of the 12. So that's 2 in the first one, 2 in number 2, 2 in number 3, same in number 4, so it's 2 in each one, so I'm just going to count individual numbers now. That's 5, that's 6, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, we've got 2 more to go, 11, and our last one, number 12. So we should now have 24 stitches, so you can see how it's going to be sitting on there. We're going to change to our half trebles now. Now I'm still going to work half trebles in an amigurumi. It's doing it again. Look, the light is terrible there. I'll try and keep my yarn to the side instead. I'm still going to work in an amigurumi style, but they are half trebles. That first round is not that easy to see, so one thing I didn't get out was a stitch marker. Now I know, this is my little pot of stitch markers, that I have got one that might sit nicely with this design. Where are you? I've got him, he might work nicely. That's one of the ones from my friend who has So Unique. It's actually one of her daughter's designs. How cute is that? So we'll use that instead. So I'm going to actually put it in now because I'm not going to do a 2 chain or anything. I'm going to go straight into doing those half trebles. So we do need to sort of be aware of that. I'm just wondering what that was as well. That's again from the previous video I've just done. I don't want to lose that either. It's a tiny little doll straw. So from now on, I'm going to be doing 2 half trebles, 1 half treble, 2 half trebles, 1 half treble, and we're going to continue with that pattern round, which will give us 36 stitches. So off we go into the next stitch. I'm going to do 2 half trebles, and I'm going to take that out again, Let me double check you're happy with those half trebles. Remember, yarn around into the space, pull it through. 3 on the hook, pull it through all 3. Yeah, you got that? So yarn round, going straight in the same stitch here, round, pull it through all 3. So that's our 2 in the first stitch, 1 in the next one. So that's our first set. It actually works out, let me work this out, I've not written it down. Why have I not written it down? Is it 12? I think it works out at 12. Yeah, because we had 24 stitches. So you've got 12 sets of 2 half trebles and a 1 half treble. Okay, so that's our first set. Second set, 2 half trebles in the first one, 1 half treble in the second one. And that's set 2. Set 3, 2 half trebles in the first stitch, 1 in the next one. So that's set 3. Set 4, we have a 2, we have a 1. Set 5, we have a 2, we have a 1. It's squeaking a bit, this yarn. Set 6, we have a 2, we have a 1. Set 7, we have a 2, or not, I thought I was going to get stuck then, and we have a 1. Set number 8, 2 and 1. Set number 9, or not, it didn't want to do it, did it? Let's take that back out. Right, I needed 1 in there, didn't I? So it has to be a 2 first and then a 1. And we're nearly there. I'm not going to count now. I'm going to actually rely on my stitch marker because I lost count. You should have 12 sets. I think I have 12 sets. Don't worry about this wiggliness either. It does settle down. So I need a 2. And I need a 1. Yeah, I would have been right if I'd counted like I thought. I was a little bit unsure. Last set, we have a 2. And I have a 1. Now obviously because I went straight into amigurumi, there is no sort of slip stitch join, etc, etc. We can just carry on round now. So if you can see, it should be fitting so it's just as the orange sort of goes around. So now we're just going to be doing half treble rounds, just 1 half treble into every single stitch. And I have 8 of those, but you will need to check as you get towards the bottom in case your tension is slightly different. So we'll leave our little gnome in there, or shall I move him up? I'll move him up actually because I did an increase, didn't I? So he's in there now, so I'll move him maybe after about 3 or 4 rounds. So off we go with 1 half treble in each half treble. So that's all we have to do, just no other stitches to think about. We're just going straight now, which will curve around our orange. I think this video is going to take a little bit longer, even though I say it is simple. When we get to the top of it, as you can see, that it's all in double crochets, and double crochets are going to take a lot longer than if you're doing half trebles or trebles or things like that, because it's a shorter stitch. So it is going to take a little bit longer. So you might want to sort of do the video in 2 parts or something like that. I had considered doing it, oh, I got there, a bit of a hair. I had considered doing it as a 2-parter. This is part 1, part 2, for example. But I thought, well, there's no real difference to you just pausing it and coming back to it. So I decided just to do it as one massive video. Oh, I can get that stitch in. It doesn't want to go in. If that happens, take it out, start again. Make sure it's in properly. There we go. And there, it worked then. Sometimes, says me as it catches again, sometimes you do need to take it out and start again. Have a look at it. I don't mean the whole thing. I mean that one stitch. The beauty of crochet, you can do that. It is only one stitch that you're correcting. It's not like you've got a row of stitches or something like that, like with knitting. I've got some squeaky wool here. You probably can't hear that. I can hear it. So we're almost round for our round 1. And you can see it's already starting to curl a little bit, which is what we want because it has to curl around our orange. Ooh. Should have put a basket on the floor. Sometimes I'll just drop the yarn in a basket and it leads up to the desk and it's much easier. Another piece of my hair, I'm sure it's falling out. It's falling apart. I don't know about anything else. Right, that is round 01. And off we go. Can you see? It's sitting nicely to the size that I want there. So our second round, still half treble, so I need to wrap. Don't forget to wrap the yarn, because a half treble is literally what it says. It starts like a treble with the yarn around the hook, but then it sort of finishes like a double because you pull it through all three. Now you don't have to pull it through, you know, like there. You don't have to go whoop all the way through. You can do it in sections. So if you got it there, you can go 1, 2. So don't sort of force yourself to go through all three at once. That will come with practice, although saying that as I drop it, there are times that I don't, depending what yarn I'm using. Sometimes I will sort of do it in the slower method, but some yarns, you're lucky enough, they'll just sort of slide through. The stitch marker is going to annoy me, I can tell, because it's going to start hitting the table. Right, we're almost round on round 2. We're not even almost round, so I'm talking rubbish now. We're halfway round. Oh, it's too warm in here today. Well, as I said earlier, I can't put a fan on because obviously the noise it makes. So my glasses at the moment are going to need to be pushed up my nose because they like to run down my nose when I'm a little bit warm. They don't stay on my nose anyway at the best of times. I am actually waiting for my new ones at the moment. Got my ears tested on Sunday, so should have some new glasses soon. So that would be nice, and I need to make sure that they don't slide like these do. So I think they need to either bend them a bit more or sort of shorten where the arm is. I don't know, but I've got to wait for a certain pair to come through that I ordered first. And there we are round. That's number 2. That sounded like a long time for number 2 for some reason. So that's our second one. So you can see it's curling that way. We want it that way really, don't we? So as it's going to sit over our orange. We don't want it inside out. You can see I think now. I know I did it inside out for a long time when I first started crocheting, but you can see this compared to sort of how the inside is. So there's a definite difference. It still looks as neat inside. I do like that about crochet. It does look as neat on either side, but there is a definite right and a wrong. So we're on round 3 now. Let's try and speed this up. Now, if you're doing this sort of, you don't necessarily want to watch me doing this. If you're pausing it, getting your sort of 8 rounds done, and then coming back to me, I'll see you in a few moments. Otherwise, if you want to stay with me, please do. I am nattering, but you can always turn the volume off if you don't want that as well. That's the beauty of YouTube. We can alter things. You can alter the speed that it plays. You can alter the volumes. You can stop, you can start. There's all sorts of things. So it's a great way of learning something because you can do it at your pace. That was a squeaky one. Weird, some yarns squeak. I mean, this is an acrylic. This is a double knit acrylic. It's actually a Stylecraft yarn. So I think the acrylics do get that sort of slight squeak. I'll go through. There you go. So this is almost round 3 done. You know, to be honest, I know I say half trebles are faster and light trebles because they're longer stitches. Let me just mark that down a minute. That's round 3. But I actually prefer to work in double crochets. A lot of my work that I do will be in a double crochet, not in a half treble. So we're round again. Shall we move him up? We need to move that stitch marker up, don't we? There we go. And I'm sure this is my hair dropping out because I don't know where it's coming from, because every now and again I keep looking. I've got my hair down and sometimes it does do that. There we go. Round round and round we go for our half trebles for round 4. Sound like we're in a boxing ring, don't we? How many rounds we've got? I've already taken some pictures of the mushroom outside. So I'm calling him a mushroom now. I said I was going to call it a toadstool, didn't I? Outside, and it does look sweet. So I will put some photos on. Obviously, you'll see them on the thumbnail. But I might pop a couple just on the end of the video, just for you to have a look at as well. One caught a little bit. Do need to be careful when it does that. Now, I know a lot of you out there that are making these, you'll sometimes make them for, say, school fairs, church fairs, charity events. Obviously, you're making them for gifts for friends and family as well. Now, I've had a few people ask me, is it okay to make my items and sell them? And yes, it is. You know, well, I can't exactly make them for the whole world, can I? That's the whole point of me having the patterns. The written patterns will be available also on the website to purchase if you do want a written pattern. I know I like to have a written pattern as well as sort of watching something. It's easier to go back to that sometimes rather than a video. Because I know I have all my own patterns in sort of like a folder, so I use those. Although I have noticed there has been times when I haven't done that and I've actually had to watch my own video to know how I made something, which is a bit weird. Right, let me just get around before I finish what I was saying. That's our round 4. We're starting round 5. So what I was basically saying is, obviously people can sell my items. I can't stop you anyway. You know, and I can't make them for everyone, so I don't mind. And I know a lot of you do make them for charity, which is wonderful, and I'm so happy that that is something you're able to do. But what I do ask, if you're selling them on something like your Etsy or Facebook or something like that, just sort of pop down that it's my pattern. That would be great. I say I don't mind you selling them, but I do like sort of people to know that obviously I designed them. These aren't patterns I take from a book. These are patterns that I actually sit down and work out myself, and then I share them with you guys. So it's nice just to sort of see an acknowledgement that that I was actually the designer rather than anything else. Some of you already do that, and I love to see it. Usually tag me on Instagram, and thank you so much for those who do that. Because then obviously if somebody else sees it, they might think, oh, I might like that pattern, because obviously there might be another crocheter out there, so they might not want to buy an item, but they might want a pattern, and then they can obviously pop over onto my site and get themselves a pattern as well. So I would be really, really grateful if you do put sort of where you get your patterns from. I know I do that if I'm making something from something else. And especially if I put a picture on Instagram, I always sort of tag or sort of put the details of the person I've either purchased something off or the patterns that I've made the items from. That's usually knitting with my mum though, because I don't really use other people's patterns, but my mum does for some of the knitting for me, so I always do put them down. Right, we're almost around there. Oh, I wonder what had happened then. I thought I'd come to the end of my wall. Like, that can't be right. Ta-da! That's round 5. Ding ding. So we only actually have 3 more rounds. Let's have a little look. See, it's fitting on nice and snugly onto our orange here. So round 6. I mean, going on about people making things, it was great when I did the Jubilee crown, because I know a lot of people were doing them as gifts. They were doing them as yarn bombing, they were doing them as charity things, and it was sort of quite exciting to see. I go, oh look, that's one of my patterns. That was a really nice feeling. So I don't mind you making them. Right, I said we were in round 6, didn't I? To check then. I forgot what round I was on because I'm talking so much. Right, let's get these rounds done. Let's say, I know this is the boring bit, unfortunately, to actually get around the orange. It's the extra bits on the top and that. And when we change colours, it's a very boring colour as well, isn't it? Oh, just saw my phone flash then. I'm like, what's that? That's my daughter calling, but she'll know what I'm doing because I did tell her I was going to be doing some filming. So she'll phone me back in a while, or she'll wait for me to phone her back. I say I can't wait to get onto that green myself. Just double checking where I'd put it then. I put it to my right side, the word on my left. So that is round 6. Now if you want to do more rounds in the green, make the grass a little bit thicker, you can do. Just that I went after round 8, but that's entirely up to you. You can have it in deeper grass if you want. Right, oh, I was round, I not even noticed. So that was 6, wasn't it? So now we're on our 7. So we've only got 2 more rounds. I can't see the clock on my phone, so I have absolutely no idea how long that has taken. I don't think it's really taken that long. It just that because it's sort of the same, it gets a little bit tedious. When we do get to the top, there is a bit of counting, so you'll definitely need pen and paper with you, or just to mark it down as you go, and that stitch marker will be quite important on that as well. It's doing its tap tap tap. It only does it halfway, so it just gets to the bottom. Oh, one stitch marker, stop making a noise. There we go, I've moved it now. That's better. Oh no, it did a little tap. As soon as I say it's better, I'm sure it's deliberately jumping down there. So this is 7, so we've got 1 more round after this, and then we'll move on to those grass rounds, which there are only 2 of them, and they are in double crochet as well. I was in 2 minds as whether to turn this into a fairy house. I decided not to because I would like to do a fairy house different later. So that is 7, our last round. Should we do a quick check though? We need to do a quick check. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy. So last round. So as I was saying, I had considered turning this into a little house, like a little toadstool house. But I think the idea of doing a fairy house, chocolate orange cover, as something different, because then I can use lots of different colours, was something I decided on. But of course you could turn this into whatever you wanted. A couple of little windows and a door, that's all you really need. Sort of speeds me past this bit because I want to get that stitch marker off at table. Makes me move a bit faster. And we're almost there. We can change the colour in a second. Yay! Although we've got to come back to this colour, unfortunately, for the underneath part, this part here. Now I've just thought, I've just thought, I was going to say ingredients then, that's the wrong thing to say, isn't it? I talked about all the materials required. You do need some toy stuffing. Should have said. I think I said it in the intro, so hopefully you will have picked that up. Because you will need a little bit of stuffing for this. So I'm round, but my next stitch I'm going to do is a double crochet just to flatten it off. I'm going to move my stitch marker up because DC rounds are a little bit less easy to see. We can cut that, we can, if I don't throw the scissors everywhere, I can cut that off and I can bring in a bit of colour. Yay! I don't know about you, but it always makes me happier. Oh, it don't make me happy when I knock my camera. Keep my camera still. It makes me happier when I use a brighter colour for some reason. my yarn's all come undone now, so I'm like trying to find the end of it. Right, that will do. It has made a knot, so I'm just going to get rid of that for speed. And here we go with our green. Obviously any green you want, because grass can be different types of greens, can't it? And as you can see, I know you can see these spikes, I've added those on extra, but all this is 2 rounds of green double crochet. But check on your orange after you've done one, see whether you do need another one. Do another one, see if you need an extra one, because again, if your sort of crochet is a little bit different to mine, there's a possibility. So I'm just going to pull in my yarn there. You just join it however you want. There's obviously, we all know there's loads of different ways to do that, and it depends what I'm doing to what I decide to do. But because I know what the next stage will be, I'm not going to over worry about the join. It doesn't have to be completely invisible. Sometimes it is required when you're doing stripes, but it's not always needed. So 1 round first, and just double crochets. So I do like a double crochet, and I actually think I'm quicker doing double crochets because I'm so used to doing them. Come on, stitch marker, play your game. No, I was going to say, I'll shove it in there, but I can't. Oh, it's gone quiet. The stitch marker's moved. Spoke too soon. Right, here we are, almost there. Go on. Let's get this green done. Now, as far as the grass detailing is concerned, I did stitch that on after. Again, entirely up to you how you do that, or whether you want to not stitch on it. You don't have to. Just put little flowers around it. You could put a little butterfly. I don't know, there's lots of ways you could decorate it up. So we're round for our first round, and my yarn is nicely tangling up there. Behave, please, for at least 1 more round, and I can sort it out afterwards. Right, so that is round 1. So I'm going to just do another one. Now I know I only need 2, so I'm not checking it on the size of my orange. I'm going to do the 2 and then double check. So just 1 more round of the green. It's a lovely green, this. It's almost like an emerald green. It's sort of really sort of bright, but not sort of glaring bright. It's a jewel sort of colour, isn't it? I think that's the word for it. It's a very pretty colour. And I think it stands out nicely on this. Come on, we're clattering again. Yeah, I've got it in my fingers now, so it can't do it. Just pulled it up high enough, I've just sort of got my little finger over it to stop it clattering. Now I think what I'm going to do, something I didn't do when I made my original one, and you don't have to do it, when I come to the end, I'm going to leave a really, really long end. So as I can just continue doing the embroidery sort of stitches without having to join another piece of yarn. So I'm round, so I'm going to do a slip stitch like I like to do. And like I say here, I think I'm going to leave this really quite long in the hope that I don't have to start another piece of yarn. So I'm going to just clip that there. It's a bit of a pain to pull it through now. Of course, we've got a very long piece there. So be careful you don't tangle it. Ta-da! So now from the inside I can just do my stitches up. So for now though, because we don't need to see that, I'm going to shove all those bits inside, and let's double check. I've already fastened it off, so it's too late if it don't fit anyway, but I knew it would fit, so I'm happy with that for my orange. Now, as I mentioned, the next bit is the top of our toadstool. Now this is done as a completely separate bit. It looks like a little spaceship when you make it, and then we're stitching it on to here, because I think that's the best way to sort of get the stuff in and to make it less complicated, rather than sort of going, well, we've got to shape and then we've got to do this. To say it's just two pieces that join together is way easier. So I can get rid of my green. Shall we start with the red first? I think we will, because I want a bit of colour. There, because as I say, this is going to be a slightly longer video than normal. So we start slip knot onto the hook. Now red's a weird one on the camera. It can glare at you a little bit. I'm doing it again with those yarns and this blocking the light a little bit. Put them over that side. So apologies for that if it's creating a little bit of a glare. We're going to do our two stitches, 2 chains, and then we're going to do our 6 double crochet into the center, exactly the same as we started with this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then again we're going to do exactly the same as that. We're going to do 2 double crochets into each of those double crochets to give us 12 stitches. So that's our first one, second one, number 3, number 4, number 5, and our last one with 2 in each for this round, number 6. I'm just going to tighten up my center because we really need it to be tight to be the top of the mushroom here. I'm doing it again, mushroom, toadstool, and we're going to do exactly the same as we've just done. Again, like we did here, we're going to do 2 double crochets into each of those 12 to give us our 24. So I'm not having a stitch marker yet because we can count to 12, can't we? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We need 2 more then, don't we? So that's 10, 11 and 12. So we now have 24 stitches there. Obviously we still need to increase somewhat yet, but I'm going to pop my stitch marker in. So I'm going to find a smaller stitch marker because that's going to irritate me. Oh, I've got that little guy. Why did I not see him before? This again is a So Unique one, which is actually done by Adele, which is So Unique, Julie's daughter. You know, how cute is he? So he's going to go on here. She does have an Etsy site, so does Julie as well. So I'll pop their links on so you can have a look if you fancy some pretty stitch markers, or obviously there's other things as well that they do create. So we're going to do 1 double crochet in each. That's why I've popped our little stitch marker in, because the toadstool does have a little bit of shaping. It's not just flat. You sort of could have got away with it just being flat, I suppose, and then the stuffing makes it stick up, but I just think it gives it a slightly nicer shape if you do the shaping now before you actually stuff it and pop it on anyway. So this is just 1 double crochet into each of those 24 stitches. We do have more increasing to come, obviously, because that would be a very little tiny weeny mushroom, wouldn't it? Again, I'm doing it. I'm going to keep calling it a mushroom. I know I am. I'm pretty sure I need to put Toadstool on the thumbnail. But I'm going to keep calling it a mushroom. It's very hard to know what to name things, though, for people to look for. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right, we are round. We now need a little bit more increasing, and it's going to be, like quite often we do with amigurumi, it's going to be 2 in 1. 1 in the next, a 2, a 1, a 2 and 1, all the way round, and you'll be doing that 12 times, which will give us 36 stitches. But we have a little stitch marker, so we might just trust him, I think, now. So we have a 2 and a 1. I'm not going to count. We have a 2 and a 1. So I'm trusting my stitch marker now. 2 and a 1, a 2 and a 1. We're almost halfway there. 2 and 1. I would say we're halfway. Keep going. 2. It does grow quite quickly, and a 1. We have a 2 and a 1. 2 and 1. A few more to go, and we're back to little gnome there. And a 1, and we are round. So we are next got a DC round, just double crochet round, but we have 2 of them, so I need to move this little guy up because I don't want to be counting. There are 36 stitches if you want to count. So we have 2 rounds of just 1 double crochet in each one. Again, it's pulling that shaping round just that little bit, so make it look a little bit nicer. So off we go. I mean, you can see roughly where we are, so we're about halfway, aren't we? Now, if I'd thought about it, the base is slightly different, not hugely, because we're also going to cheat and expand a little bit quicker by using half trebles. But I suppose if I thought about it, I could have got some of that done in advance for you guys. So, but as I say, you can fast forward past whatever I'm up to, so you can go on to your next stage if you want. The thing is, the base, the top and the bottom of the mushroom top, oh, I'm going to give up, I'm just going to call it a mushroom. The mushroom top has to be the same amount of stitches because we are going to be crocheting them together. So that is something you sort of do need to consider. If you don't want to crochet them together, you could sew them together. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I just think you get this nice sort of edge if you do actually crochet it together. So that's our first round of just 1 double crochet. Off we go. Round 2, 1 double crochet in each stitch. And again, if you're wanting to count, that is 36 stitches. We're actually going to expand up to 56, which seems a long way away, but you've only actually got 2 more increases and you would be there. Can't believe how warm it is here today. It's weird, the British weather, you're one extreme to another. Well, not extreme, not compared with some countries, but for us, because we have a tendency to have it sort of a little bit bland, that when it's hot, all of a sudden it feels incredibly hot to us. And either you're the sort that likes to go out sunbathing and you're thoroughly enjoying it, or like me, you're the sort that, great, it means I can get the washing out and dried, but I'd rather not be out in it for too long. Me and my husband are quite opposites for that. He'll sunbathe forever. I have 5 minutes out there and I'm like, too much, I'm going back in. I don't like to be too warm. Well, it's not that I don't like it, but the weather doesn't like me. It makes me feel a bit poorly, so I can't get on with the heat, unfortunately. So we're almost round and round and round we go. Right, so that is the end of our second round of double crochet. Can you see it does curve? Like I say, it's not a massive curve, but it's enough, I think, just makes it look a little bit nicer. So we're going to move this little fella up because, let me just double check my paper, we now have another increase round, and it's going to be 2 in 1 and then 1 1, a 2 1 1 all the way around. Again, 12 times if you're wanting to count, but I'm going to rely on little gnome. So we have 2 in our first one, yeah, and then we have a 1 and a 1. And we're going to repeat that round 12 times. So we have a 2, we have a 1, a 1. Obviously your 2 is your increase. So we have a 2, we have a 1 and a 1. We have a 2, we have a 1 and a 1. And keep going, we're nearly halfway there. So 2, a 1 and a 1. We have a 2, oh, yarn's got stuck around my fingers, a 1 and a 1, 2, 1 and 1, a 2, a 1 and a 1. Last few, we're coming towards the end. A 2 and a 1, a 1. We have a 1 last set, and then we're back to no me. 1, 1. That was actually a 2, wasn't it? And then 1 and 1. Right. So we're round. We're now got, excuse me, we have 2 rounds of 1 double crochet. I'm just going to pause a second. You'll not really see it because it's just going to stop start. I really need to get a drink. So I'll be back with you in half a second. Right, I'm back. I had a quick drink and I tied my hair up. As I say, it's very warm. So, as I was saying, we have 2 rounds of just 1 double crochet, just relying on little Gnome there to do the counting for us. So, as soon as we get round to him, we know we've done 1 round. I ought to get one of those stitch counters. You can get them, can't you, for crocheters? I know it's not the same as, you know, the knitters have those that they pop on the needles, don't they? I don't think that really works for a crocheter. I know there are some that you can just go tap, and then that'd be handy rather than having a piece of paper. Although I think I'd probably miss my piece of paper. So you've only actually got, you've got these 2 rounds, which you're doing now. Then there's just going to be 1 more increase round, and surprisingly you'll be there. It doesn't look like it comparing, but you will actually be there by that point. Almost round for 1. I hate doing things like this when I'm tired, because I have literally made myself fall asleep while I'm crocheting, because it's obviously so sort of, well, it's a little bit tedious, isn't it, when you're just going round and round. I do get it, I do know that's the case. So as I say, you probably want to do this in stages. You'll not be wanting to watch me do it all and then while you're crocheting, because you might end up falling asleep while you're doing it yourself. I have literally fallen asleep at my desk. So I'm like crocheting, then my eyes just dropped. I'm like, oh no. I had to sort of get up and have a walk around. Crochet is not great when you're tired. So I'm on my 2nd round now. So after this, as I say, there's only 1 more round. But then we do have the underneath bit. Unfortunately, you can't just stick this on the top of your mushroom. So I knew it was going to take a while, this one. I don't think I'd anticipated it was going to take this long. So when you're making it yourself, you don't really notice the time. But obviously when I'm doing it as a video, you sort of notice the time a lot more. You'd be glad I didn't turn it into a fairy house to have the extras on it. But I will, like I say, I have really considered what I want to do for a fairy house. So we're probably going to be sort of taking as long as this did. But I suppose, if I'm careful, we can do a bit of cross-referencing and I can make the video a little bit shorter for you guys. Right, so we are round. We need 1 more round. You can see I've got the shape now, can't you? The shape is coming. And this last increase round, again, you're going to be increasing by 12 like before. It's going to be 2 in the first one, then 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah? Just all the way around till we get to little gnomes. So we need 2. And then we have a 1, a 1, and a 1. Yep. I hope recording hasn't stopped. I'm sure it just says recording has stopped. No, I think it says recording stops if you answer this call. I don't know. 1, 2, and 3. So we need a 2. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, and 3. I probably will have to pause it when I get to pass this round and give her a call back. 1 and a 1. Oh, nearly dropped it. A 1, 2, and 3. So 2. Then 3 single ones. Shouldn't say single, should I? Should say individual, because obviously it confuses matters with the single and double crochet thing. So we have 2 in this one and 3 individuals. 1, 2, and 3. 2 in this one, or not. I've dropped it. Ah! So we have 1, 2, 1, 1, and 1. So 2. I can see the finish line coming up. 1, 1, and 1. 2 in this one. And then 3 individuals. 1, 1, 1. We've only got a couple more sets, maybe 3 sets to do. So we have a 2, 1, 1, and 1. Oh, I think it might be 2 sets. It looks like it might be 2. Let's see how we go. So 2 in this one, and then a 1, a 1, and a 1, and we've got one more set. So we have a 2. You can do it. 1, 2, and 3. I'm not going to slip stitch because remember I want to crochet this to the base of the under part of the top. So I'm thinking if I'm going to be crocheting this round, it would be nice to leave enough yarn again so I'm not setting off with more yarn. So I reckon that it's a bit of a guesstimate, this one. If you do run out, it's not the end of the world. It just makes it a bit easier to start with. So I'm going to keep all that there because I want to use it to actually crochet together. So I'm going to pull that through just to fasten it off. Now, it's a bit of a pain pulling all that through, I know, but it will save you a job joining yarn after the fact. So we're going to pinch little gnome back because we're going to need him for the base. So for now, I'm just going to dump that on the top of there, and we're going to look at the base of the top, if that makes sense. Not the base of the mushroom, the base of the underside of the top, the cap part, isn't it? So we're back to this sort of boring mushroomy colour again, and we're going to sort of speed it up by doing the first part in half trebles. Now it does make that first bit a little bit quicker because that bit's underneath, it's going to be sewn on, you're not even going to see it. So let's speed things along a little bit for this one. But we do ultimately need to have 56 stitches like that finished with so we can crochet them together. So we've got to start with 2 chain, and we're going to do 6 double crochets into the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now I'm actually going to join with a slip stitch here. I know I don't usually, but I'm going to this time. Okay, so I have joined with a slip stitch because I really makes it easier sometimes if you can see where you're going. And I'm going to do 2 chain, counts as a half treble, then 1 half treble into that stitch that came out of. Yep, so that's 2 half trebles, that's an increase. Now it should leave us 5 stitches, of which you're going to do 2 half trebles in each. Okay, so this is our first one of the 5. So that's 1. There's 2 half trebles in each. 2. 3. That was 3. Was that 3? Was that 4? Basically I need 12 stitches, so I will check in a second. My mind wandered off then because I was just trying to think what I was doing next. I've got to stop doing that. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 12. Right, I'm going to slip stitch join. Again, these are not going to be visible, so I'm not worried about doing all the whole amigurumi thing. So we have 12 stitches there. I'm going to do the same again. 2 chain, 1 half treble into the base. So that's our first increase. Then we should have 11 stitches left, and we're going to have 2 half trebles in each of those 11. It will give us 24 stitches. Swear it's the same brand yarn this, but it does feel very different from using the red and the grain. It feels a bit rougher for some reason. Sort of thicker rather than rougher, should I say. I know that can vary with colour dyes, but it's usually red that's the one that's a pain, not a pale colour. But yeah, this one feels quite different to work with. You will get that though, even on the same brands. It can be a little frustrating, but I suppose dyeing can affect different sort of, I suppose the same strands go in, they're all dyed different colours, but then the dye can make them feel different, I think, sometimes. So these are just the 2 half trebles. See how much quicker that's grown than when we did the top. A couple more to go. And last one. And we're going to slip stitch join. So we now have our 24 stitches. We're now going to increase again, and this is going to increase us up to our 36. And it's going to be similar sort of system of increasing, so you'll have a 2 and a 1, a 2 and a 1, but they're going to be half trebles. So here we go, 1, 2, 1 into the base, and then 2, up 1 in the next one. I am naughty there. It was a 2 and a 1, isn't it? It's a 2 and a 1, so that was the 2. This is the 1. So this is a 2, and this is a 1. This is a 2, and this is a 1. We have a 2. Oh, we don't. Nearly stuck again then. 2 and a 1. We have a 2. Oh, we do if I get the hook in there. 2 and a 1. See, we're already halfway through here. So we have a 2. And a 1. I'm just going to pause even though you won't see the pause. Right, I don't know whether the camera's going to look a bit different now because I paused it to answer my daughter and then I've started it again. So I've slightly moved it because I had to take my phone off the stand. Right, where were we? That's a 1 there. You can, the beauty of a half treble, you can see what the stitch is. That was a 1, so we need a 2 next, don't we? A 2 and a 1. A 2 and a 1. We're almost round. A 2 and a 1. A 2, a 1, 2 and a 1. Now, for some reason, I seem to be missing a stitch, so I'm going to be really naughty and just leave one in there. It won't make any difference, really, for one stitch. Now, you might be wondering again, why am I doing the slip stitch join and 2 chain on this one? It's because it's not that visible. When you're doing something like this, you don't want to see that line where you join. It's really difficult. I mean, that looks pretty smooth. I know because it's amigurumi, it's spiral, so you do get a slight change, but you don't get a line. If I'd done stop, start, stop, start, you'd have a line all the way down there, and that is something I don't want to see. Because of where this is, you're not going to see 90% of it, so I don't need to worry about it. So we were round, and I'm going to do my slip stitch join again. So phone, I forgot where I was now. Where am I? Where am I? I don't know. We have 36 stitches now. Yes, we do. We're going to have another increase. It's going to be by 12 again, and we're going to do exactly the same as we were doing. Then there'll be 2 stitches, 1 1, 2 stitches, 1 1. Okay, yeah, camera angle's slightly different now, isn't it? Never mind. So there's my 2 chain, there's my half treble into the base of that. So that's our first increase. And then we're going to have a 1 and a 1. Yeah, so it's a 2 increase, 2 individuals, a 2 increase, 2 individual, 2 increase, 2 individual. So we're almost halfway around. So because we're doing the half trebles as well, we're doing less rounds. So it sort of saves you a bit of time on this map. 2 increase, 2 individuals. Because when we've done this round, you've already got up to 42 stitches. So we need a 2, a 1, and a 1, a 2, a 1, and a 1. Nearly dropped off the hook. A 2, a 1, and a 1. Almost round. We have a 2, pull a bit of yarn out there, 2 individuals, a 1 and a 1. Oh, my last one. You see, it works this time, so I don't know what I did last time. I think I must have missed a stitch somewhere. A 1, and my last stitch, a 1. So slip stitch join time. Ta-da! And we have a 1 more round of increase to get to that 56 that we wanted, and it's going to be the same system. You're going to have a 2, but this time 1, 2 and 3. Yeah, so you see how the increases work. Each time you do your 2 stitches in 1, which is your increase, and then we've done an extra 1, so we're doing 3 this time. So because obviously there's more stitches, so that's how it works. So we have our 2, we have our half treble in the base there, and then we want 3 individuals. 1, 2 and 3. 2 increase, and then we have 1, 2 and 3. Can you see what I was talking about, the join? It's not massive. If you do it neat enough, you don't always see a join. But to me, I can see a join, and if I don't want that visible on the base of it, that's why I do the spiral system there. So we have a 2. And then we have 1, 2 and 3. We have a 2. We have a 1, 2 and 3. 2. So whenever I'm saying 2, it's just your increased stitch, that's all. And then 3 individuals. 1, 2 and 3. 2. So now when we've got there on this round, we have the 56 stitches. That should have been a 2, shouldn't it? That the top has got. So they should line up when you crochet them together. That is why you needed the same stitches in each one. Let me double check what I've just done there. 1, 2, 3, that's right. We have a 2. And we have a 1, 2 and 3. A little bit more yarn out. There is 1 more round after this, but it's just 1 double crochet into each one, so it's not one you need to worry about. So that's 2 in that one. 1, 2 and 3. We have a 2. 1, 2, 3. Almost there. We have a 2. 1, 2 and 3, and our very last set. A little bit more yarn out. We have a 2. And I hope I've got a 3. I don't think I have. It's going to be a 2. It's going to be a 2. The beauty of amigurumi is you can get away with something that simple. Right, and slip stitch in or not. Where you going? I think my hands are getting tired. There we go. Pull it through and 1 chain. I've done the 1 chain because I'm just going to do a double crochet into each of those stitches now. So round we go. Just 1 double crochet. We could do a count there actually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Just doing this to make sure it's going to fit with the top bit. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Remember I need 56, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30. We're nearly there. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. We're almost counting down now. 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. I'm a bit worried there's not much there. 49. Ooh, 50, 50, 50. I think I'm short. 51, 52. Oh dear. 53. I'm putting 2 in that one. 53, 54. And I've got 55. We can work that one in. I'll show you how we go about doing that as well. So I want to get rid of this one, so I'm just going to do a slip stitch now, and we can just chop that one off and we can fasten it off. We can get rid of that beige now. Now because I left so much of this, I'm going to use that to crochet them together. So obviously we need wrong sides together, so it's both right sides on the outer side. I'm going to put my hook back in with this one, and I'm going to line it up with one on that side. But can you see I've picked up both parts of the stitch? I haven't just picked up one piece, so make sure you do pick up. Now, as I say, I was missing a stitch or so there. We can usually work this in, so don't worry about it, but work it in here, not at the end. So all I'm doing, watch, just crocheting. So I'm doing, line them both up and crochet, line them up and crochet. Make sure you are keeping it nice and neat on the inner side as well, because it is going to be visible. Right, now I said I got one less stitch, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull back into the same stitch for that one, so that gains. So next stitch on the white, on the red, that last stitch on the beige, it just pulls it over, so that will sort of balance out that stitch I got missing. So we're going to keep going. This is a hard one because I want to pull it towards my body when I do these. It's like when I sew things up and sew things in, I have a tendency to pull it towards my body, which for you guys is a little bit annoying for you to see. So I'm having to sort of stretch my arms out further than I would normally, so it feels a bit weird when I'm doing this. It's okay when I'm doing normal crochet, I can crochet that away from my body, but for some reason when I'm putting things together, I have a tendency to pull it towards my body. Now take your time with this, because you do need to make sure that they are lined up nicely, because you can see how sort of neat that is. You need that look on this side, so take your time, don't rush. I know I'm going a little bit quicker perhaps, but that is because I'm sort of generally used to things as they line up. If you're not used to sort of lining two sides up, sometimes it's best to go, right, that's one, that's the other, check it's okay, then do your stitch. And again, it'll depend on how tight your stitches are, because if your stitches are tight sometimes, can you see what I've just done there? So take that out, that's not good, because I caught the stitch. But again, it's very, very visible on this, so you must make sure it's nice and neat. Especially if it's a gift, you want the person to sort of go, oh wow, that's amazing, thank you so much. And you want sort of good quality when you're giving somebody a gift as well. Right, we are going to need the stuffing soon, so I've got a bag of stuffing on the floor. Thankfully I had it near me, even though I didn't put it on the list at the beginning, because you do need it, otherwise you're going to have a very flat toadstool. So, I said toadstool, didn't I? Not mushroom. You see, we're sort of what? We need a little bit more. I'm scared I'm going to run out of red yarn. It's not a big deal if you have to add, but it's just another job, isn't it? That's all. So if you can do things sort of all in one, where you don't have to join much, it does make things easier for you when you're working. So, a couple more, I think, and then it's time to stuff. It doesn't need a lot of stuffing. Well, depends on sort of how high you want the toadstool. Look, can you see? I knew I'd run out. So I think now's the time to put the stuffing in while I'm actually at that point. Now this is a proper toy grade stuffing that I use. You probably only need maybe that. You don't even necessarily need that. So let's see how we go. We can just push these ends in now. And let's put the stuffing in. See how it feels. A little bit more. I think that probably would be enough. So as I say, it looks like a little spaceship, doesn't it? So you can see, because we've crocheted from the red side facing us, can you see how it's created a lip all the way round? So it pushes this side up a bit, which is what we need for the effect of our toadstool. So I think that's enough stuffing. So I'll put that little bit down there. But because I misworked out my yarn, I'm going to have to set off another piece of yarn just to finish it. But it's not a big deal. Basically, I'm going to pop into my next stitch if I can get in it. There we go. I think I've hit a join one. Get my yarn and pull my new piece of yarn through. There we go. Now I'm going to need to tie those ends off. That's what I say. I've now made myself a harder job because I've got two ends to sort out, which I could have done without. But never mind. It wasn't a big job. It's just an annoying job. So basically we're now sealing the mushroom together. So our stuffing's inside, all our ends are inside, and we're just sealing. It looks like a little pie, doesn't it? We're sealing the little pie together. Couple more stitches. I think the reason this one's taking longer as well, because I don't normally go through all the finishing off details, because you don't normally need them. But with this, I needed to have made this to actually show you how to attach it onto the actual base. Right, we're round. We are round. There we go. I can now trim that off. I will mess about with the ends after the fact. I'm going to just do a slip stitch in there to make it nice and flat, because I gave myself extra bits, didn't I, to actually sew in. So, but can you see how it runs along the bottom? So we get this nice sort of shaping where you get a red line underneath as well. So as I say, like a little spaceship. So if we take our little mushroom base, again, I've done it back to mushroom again. I do this on the orange. I think I've mentioned it before. I quite often like to put details on. I mean, it looks a bit high like that, but when you get the stitching in. So if I take that, put it on top and squish it down, I can see how far I want it squishing, and then I can also see which line I want to stitch to, and I want to stitch to this one here. this one along here, which is, for me, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like the second one that's half trebles that I'm wanting to stitch down to. I am going to have to get some of this now. Make sure I cut off enough this time. And I want my nice sewing needle, which, although it has a small head to put your yarn through, it means it has a sort of sharper point. So it does make it easier to sort of get through your yarn. We have a long bit here now, so you do have a bit of a wrestle if you do it that way. Sort of try not to sort of get it too tangled, otherwise you're going to be starting again. And I am going to put a knot in the end. So I put the knot in the end because I'm going to run it through. So if I'm going to go 1, 2, I want it there, and I want it approximately there. Because can you see, if you look at this one, there's like sort of almost 2 rows there. Yeah, can you see? So I know I need to sew it in about there. So I'm just going to push this through with its knot. Ideally sew all your ends in and then you're not fighting. You're not going to see this bit, so don't worry about that knot showing there. And I'm going to pop this on here, okay? And it is a little bit hard. Again, I pressed it across, I had held this sort of my chest and that sort of in position, so which makes it easier to sew. So what did I say? Second one down, it's this one, okay? And I'm going to just pull it through. I'm going to pick up the next stitch on the top, and then the next stitch on the bottom. So just make sure you're following the same round all the time, but remember we've got that spiral, so it can affect it, so just watch where you're going. It doesn't matter, I suppose, if it's slightly lopsided. So we're just going to keep picking up a stitch at the top and a stitch at the bottom. So I'm just going to do a couple of these to sort of show you sort of what I'm after. It is a bit of a pain working with a very long piece of thread here, so you might want to do it sort of use 2 pieces, use a short one and then a second short one. Just going to do one more there, so I'm picking up that stitch and then the bottom stitch, and let's have a quick look at what I've done then, because you do need to keep checking, because it's very easy to pull it over to one side and not do it where you want it. Now it looks a bit weird at the minute, you think, oh, how on earth is that going to go? But if you carry on round, pulling this here into this round, it will eventually all pull together like that. So I'm still central, make sure your thing's on your orange right. Yeah, I'm still happy. So if I carry on round, that is going to stitch into place, and look, it blends in really nicely there, and that's what you want to do all the way round to ultimately get this, so you can barely see really where you've joined. So if I'm going to swap these over a minute, ta-da, you will see what I mean as far as the sit is concerned. So you can see I've gone a couple of rows in there, and then down to my second row of half trebles to stitch into place. So when it's all on, it will sit nicely like that one. Now as far as these were concerned, as I say, I glued them into position, just a little dot of glue in the center, and then I can stitch them on to make sure they're nice and neat. Now as far as the little flowers are concerned, where are my little flowers? I have a little box of all sorts of bits and pieces here, so I'm just going to grab a couple of flowers. Now these are the flowers I got. Now I actually got these from the Works. I'm pretty sure it was the Works that I got these from. I think it was like £1 for a bag of them. Now they already have sticky tabs on the bottom, but I pulled them off. I didn't want them to stick out, and then I just sort of glued the center and positioned them. So for £1 I thought they were just quite pretty. They're quite bright and colourful, and obviously I've just gone for sort of the purple and the pink on this one. Now going back, I've got all these ends, which is not useful, is it really? Going back to talking about the sewing of the grass. Now they're just straight stitches. You don't need to be an embroiderer to do this. I'm going to pinch that needle back. Ideally you've got the top sewn on now, and then you would carry on doing this. In fact, I'm going to cut these a bit shorter just for demonstration purposes, because otherwise they will be a pain for you. And what I've done with my scissors though, because it's going to take me ages to show you how to do it if I have a long piece. Now, I'm sure you probably do know how to do this, but they are literally just straight stitches. You definitely don't need any embroidery skills for it. So I'm going to take that up to the top of the grass. Okay. And then I'm going to go, I'll go for a long piece. I'll push it in at the top there, come back out the same position as my other one. Yeah. And then I'm going to go for a longer one again, because I want this for the stem of the flower. So pull it out. Oh, knock the camera. Let's do the thing. Embroidery and cameras don't work well together. So you can see I've got that. And then I'm going to go for a shorter one. Back in the same hole. Pull this yarn through. So you can see we have sort of 3 little shapes. They don't have to be exact. I'm just going to run the yarn along. Just a couple of places. Make sure it's not too tight, pull it back into place. And then I might do just a couple of short ones. So 1. 2. One shorter than that one, but it doesn't matter. I'll do a longer one there then. Go on then. It can be real sort of higgledy-piggledy how you do it. And then obviously you can decide on where you want to pop a flower, for example. So that is all I did all the way around. You can see it's not a pattern. You see, like I did a short one, long one, the flowery one, just some normal pieces of grass, little ones there, like I was saying. So you can play around with that however you want to do it, and then position your flowers. You don't have to have flowers. Like I say, you could put maybe butterflies on it. You could do all sorts with it. But that is the basic pattern for our toadstool. I've now got to continue sewing this part on because I do want to get him finished and then put the details on. It's amazing what happens as soon as you put those dots on. It's an instant toadstool then. So thank you so much for watching a rather long video, and I'm sure, as I say, you will be hitting missing certain points, fast forwarding, etc, etc. But I hope you have enjoyed doing it. I will put the pattern up on my site so you can actually buy the pattern as well, because that might make it easier to have the pattern at the side of yourselves, and then maybe just watch the video through once or just parts of the video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it, even though it did take quite a while. Got some more ideas coming up. Definitely got more chocolate oranges coming up, because we are thinking about Christmas, etc. pretty soon. Well, we've got Halloween, Christmas, etc, etc. Lots of gift giving times to sort things out. And I've got some doll crochet, etc, etc coming up. So I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you do enjoy the videos or you want to see other ones that I've done, please like, subscribe and share. And if you do want to see them, don't forget to click on the notification bell as well, and that will give you a notification when I've popped a new video on there. So thank you very much for now, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.